Hello, hello, hello. It's your boy Beast One. Welcome to another episode of Dad Mentality. We got a great one for y'all. We're going to talk about generational curses and also generational gifts, because there's a lot of things that are curses and gifts that we don't know about that help teach our children, and things that we did collectively as a panel to change those things. We have our guest host with us, Brandon, and I'll tell you more about him as we go into the show. So as you know, let's get it done.
What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, they get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I'll be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Sometimes we gotta fix our mental. Or maybe it's not meant to be a dad, a father, that's what men do. I made a promise to my kids, that's what I do. I just want them to do things better than I do. Or better yet, better things that I did. What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, they get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I'll be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Welcome to the show. Shout out to the coach. And Matty Ice, Ice Cold Crypto. And each one. That's mentality. We just try and reach one. What is that's mentality?
Hello, hello, hello. It's your boy Beast One. All right, my face done froze. I don't know what just happened there, but it's all right. We got it straight now. But welcome to another episode of Dad Mentality. As you know, I don't do it by myself. I got my boys with me. Today we also got a guest host with me as we join the show. But of course, we're gonna go ahead and give it to Mr. Bitcoin himself, even though it did drop a little bit, so I bought a little bit more this week. But I'm gonna go ahead, give it to him. Matty Ice Cold Crypto. What's up, sir? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing excellent today, man. How about yourself, man?
Man, living the dream. And also joins me every week is my man, A Million Grand. We've known each other since the Sandbox, running 4 years old, running the old schools at Camp Springs Christian. We ran that joint for many, many years. But it's my boy, Coach, aka Vance Ross. What's up, Vance?
What's good with you? How y'all doing today?
Man, doing good. So, fellas, I got a special guest with us this week. This gentleman I've known now, I feel like gotta be what? I don't know, 20 years probably, maybe a little bit longer, but
20.
Okay, yeah. When I first met him, he married my what I would call my arch nemesis back in high school. She was definitely hating on me and my wife's relationship. She told me I wasn't going to be shit, never was going to do shit. And as long as she was in the picture, we would never be together. So, unfortunately, I made it through her. Like, Mario and Donkey Kong got past her. Or what was the joint? But anyway, Bowser, that's it. Got past her and got to the princess. So, but she been my homie ever since. Now she on my team. So, but Faith, who joined us on the woman mentality episode, but this is Brandon. He's a teacher. He's also a father of 3 beautiful athletic and scholar daughters. I definitely look up to this man when it comes to the fatherhood game. He's definitely been there and been involved in life, and is made 3 beautiful, beautiful daughters. So, it's my man, Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
Man, appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me. Thanks for all those nice little good words. I know that's not what you say when the cameras are off, but
Yeah, I wanted to give I'm gonna give you flowers for now, but as soon as the camera's off, it's back to the same old shit. It ain't going to change. But fellas, let's get into this mental health check-in. Tell me how your week has been, how you feeling, what's going on. I'm gonna go ahead and let Coach start it out for us. Tell us how things have been.
I mean, the last week has been pretty even keel. Probably like I'd say a solid 7. Today, you know what I'm saying? I probably pushed to an 8. Certain categories. It's my baby girl's birthday, Jackson. So,
Oh, happy birthday,
um,
Jackson.
yeah, she turned 8
Birthday.
today. So, you know what I mean? She got, you know what I'm saying, IHOP for breakfast and went to the mall with her mom. She's the girly girl of the group, so she like going shopping. She got
Hold on.
press on nails from Claire's and all her dress up stuff that she wanted to get, book bags. And we kind of plan birthdays and Christmas around growth spurts. So, you know what I'm saying? Her growth spurt normally happens at the beginning of the year. And just like clockwork it did, she couldn't fit half the stuff in her closet. So she got a bunch of clothes today, what she needed. So, you know what I'm saying? Which is what she likes, which is good for her. So she didn't ask for many toys or anything of that nature. So all in all, and then we went to Cheesecake Factory. You know what I'm saying? So today was a good day. Rest of the week was pretty even keel. Nothing major really, no major ups or downs. Just kind of, you know what I'm saying, in the weather. The weather started breaking this weekend, so I picked the wrong day to go cycling. Went on Saturday, and it was windy as all outdoors. Like it was ridiculous. But you know what I'm saying, biking season is amongst us, so I'm happy about that.
Good luck. Good luck with the biking season. But
Yeah,
I'm
38
still
miles.
surprised Jack is now a girly girl. That she was always the thug when I seen her.
She still got the thug in her. It's just she's just
Okay.
gonna be dressed up. She will definitely be the one to pluck
She a
the
pretty
nails
thug.
off.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll pluck the nails off and put her hair in a ponytail and throw hands with anybody. But you know what I mean. She gonna be dressed up before she get there.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and go next. So for me, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be honest with y'all fellas. I'm ready for vacation, man. I'm trying not to write off work. You know how you get that right before work? You about to go on vacation, you ready to just you better just phone it all in. So, had a decent week at work though. I did open a new account that is going to be definitely profitable. I'm going to finally start hitting my numbers that I had last year. I definitely lost a bunch of them accounts, so now I'm getting back to where I'm hitting and excelling my numbers from last year. Because you always, with my job, you always competing against yourself. So I'm excited about that. But I'm ready for vacation, man. I'm tired of this house. I'm tired of this neighborhood. I'm tired of everything. Now I drive home from work and not even happy to be home. I'm like, yo, I'm ready to go to the airport. Like, but I'm looking forward. I've been looking at all the places I'm going to visit. Me and the wife are definitely going to have a good time. We're going to Indonesia. I don't know if you knew that, Brandon.
No, that's what's up. Okay.
Yeah, going to Indonesia for 2 weeks. We're going to hit Qatar for a day. We're going to stay there, and then we're going to go to Jakarta and be a week there, and then Bali for a week.
Oh man, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited for that. So yeah, at this point in time, but I'm gonna still say I'm about a 7.8. Track season did start. So I love watching my son train and get ready for track season. So that's good. My daughter had a great report card again. And I'm excited for her, even though this summer I think she's going to be doing college courses. So I don't know if she's going to be hanging out with us as much this summer. I also found out I'm going to Atlanta for a week in July, I think. Yeah, I'm going to Atlanta for a week, so I'm excited about that too. So right now, I'm just trying to get my passport. Well, I got my passport, but I'm trying to just, I'm ready to get some stamps now. I'm trying to do some traveling, man. I'm ready to do some traveling, have some good times, and just, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I'm tired of PG County. I'm ready. I'm ready to go anywhere other than here. So I've been looking at other stuff. I definitely want to take my son because he's going to be going. If he goes to Junior Olympics, it's in Greensboro. So I'm ready for that and hang out with my family in North Carolina. So that's all excited. So 7.9. I'm trying to get to this summer, get some more business for my job, and just enjoy some traveling and spending time with my family. I've been thinking about it, Coach, ever since you said, now is the time to make memories. Like you don't gotta get kid gifts for your kids and presence and shit, make memories with him. So I've been thinking about that a lot ever since you said that.
Oh yeah.
That's just how I feel, man. You know, that's where I'm at. How you feeling, Matty Ice?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm pretty good weekend, man. So I'm gonna say I'm still even about that 7.5, man. You know, man, still trying to get up to that 8 or 10. Think I'll be there once the summer get in the full swing. But had a good turnout for a walkthrough we had for an event we doing next Sunday. Part of a fashion show someone's putting on. So we did a model run through at the venue the other day. So all the models showed up, everything went well.
Time out. Vance, did you get that invite to the model joint?
Nah, man.
Oh, okay.
What you trying to walk? Y'all trying to walk the runway? I ain't know y'all wanted to be no male
we
model.
at least get an invite. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 models here. We've been asking for gear for a year now. You know, we could at least get an invite. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Dang, man.
Maybe you don't got the big boy sizes. Maybe that's what it is.
That's what it is.
I ain't know y'all wanted to walk the runway, man. I ain't know you wanted to get your vote going, Rodney. You know what I'm saying?
I'm asking for an invite. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I need to try some of the stuff on, take it home with me. Do I get to take it home with me? If that's the case, then I'm definitely down.
Nah, you gotta give it back. Mark gotta give it back.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. So you got the model joint going, okay?
Yes, everything.
We didn't get invited,
man. Family doing good. You know what I mean? Wifey had a good, good week and everything. So overall, I'm at a 7.5, man. Just trying to push through, get to the summer, and looking forward to May 1st, man. Got a upgrade coming. I talk about that once we actually do what we're doing, but we actually doing something at the store, so it should be a good summer. So 7.5, trying to get up to that 8 and 10 though, to 10 by the end of the summer.
Okay, excellent. All right, how you feeling, Brandon? Just give us your rating between 0 and 10, and tell us how your week going. Tell us what you're looking forward to.
It's about 7. You know, going to work. I do have my spring break coming up next week, so I am looking forward to that. I can't just wipe off this week because we have state testing, so I gotta give that test all week. So I'm not looking forward to that. You know, to sit there and watch kids take a test for 3-4 hours it's kind of grueling. You can't have your phone, you can't do anything, you can't read, you guys just sit there and watch them. So I ain't looking forward to that. But yeah, I got spring break coming up next week, and it seems like the weather's breaking, so I'm looking forward to that. Get out there and get on the golf course, get back on the grill. Got back on the grill yesterday for the first time in a minute. So I'm kind of looking forward to kind of get back in those swing of things. So I say about a 7 right now. Next week I'll probably be about an 8, 9, or a 10.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. I mean, when you get on the grill, don't forget, you can send out an invite.
You know, I'm a little rusty. I had to do some wings on it just to kind of see what my game was, and I was like, okay, I'm still okay. I ain't too rusty. Going pretty good.
All right. Well, so fellas, this week we're going to talk about generational curses and talking about, so for me personally, I kind of had this conversation with actually my therapist. So, because we kind of discussed that a lot of people have issues with their childhood. And a lot of it has to go with the same thing. Like the biggest one I always talk about is with my oldest son. You know, I made a lot of mistakes with my oldest son because I was young. I was new to the game. I didn't know what I was doing. I only can rely on what I was taught or what I had seen or what was my impression of a parent. And some people, and like I said, my father died when I was 11. So I told my son when he turned 11, I was like, look, dude, I don't really know. I'm winging it from here. So we all have I feel like we all have a lot of what they would call generational curses. I also believe that there's such thing as generational gifts. So, I just kind of wanted to talk to you fellas and just have a round table conversation. And the first thing I want us to discuss is what our grandparents was like. What did our parents have to live with? Because back then, and let's say the average grandparent here is, 40 years from when you are now, whatever case. So 40 years ago or 50 years ago, it was a lot different. Parents didn't, weren't worried about education because they had to work on the farm. Or parents, the city life wherever they live was just like drugs was the big thing. This was the big thing. So that's what they had to endure. That's what they had to uncover. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start first and talk about my family, my relationship with my parents, my relationship with my grandparents. So my mom was from Washington, D.C. So her grandparents, my grandmother was the greatest grandmother I knew. I had her all the way up into how old was I? I was probably I was older than when my dad. I think I had her like 5 years after my dad passed away. So it was like 16 when she finally passed away. But one thing about my grandmother on my mother's side, she was a loving woman. She was very much the word I would use and also went through my mother was she was not she did not hold grudges. What's the word I'm looking for? She was like she was okay. Like no matter who you are, she accepted you. You know what I'm saying? And she loves you no matter what end of the spectrum you was at. There was no judgment. Judgment is the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah. So my mom was cool. My mom was like that too. That carried on to that part of the family. Now my dad, he grew up in Henderson, North Carolina. And my grandmother on that side was very loving, but I could tell she had favorites. And she had a certain, and she was that grandma, she was a large woman. She was like 6'1", 6'2", and did all the hardcore farming. Like when I was out there, I watched her shoot a pig in front of me when I was like 6. Like she told me, she was like, I was out there at my job when I went down there to visit her in the South. She was like, yeah, go feed the pigs. So I would go feed the pigs. And then one day she was like, well, which pig is your favorite? I was like, oh, I like that one right there. She was like, well, go ahead and let him out. So I let him out. That pig hard ass started running. She pulled out a rifle and got that bam about 100 yards away, dropped him. Out, and he was dinner. You know what I'm saying? And she went and did what it's called for dinner. So and I knew that, she was big into spanking and what you would call corporal punishment, but then she was an ex-slave. You know what I'm saying? So of course that's what they knew. So that's what they did. So that's just kind of one of the things. Like my dad spanked me one time, and that's all it took. The next time I asked my mom to spank me before he got home, because I was not trying to live that life. You know what I'm saying? And it took a lot of me not to break that kind of cycle where I learned that I didn't always have to spank my children. Like I could actually talk to them. Like I could actually have a conversation. That spanking all the time was not always the answer. So that was just one of the things that, I'm bringing up just to see what everybody's background is. So we're going to go ahead and start with Brandon real quick. What is your grandparents' background?
All right. So only knew or know one of my grandparents. She's still alive. She's in her early 90s. She had kind of tough, I guess, adulthood. My grandfather, her husband, come to find out had mental illness and had schizophrenia. So she had to basically hold it down. Like she was the only one that keep a stable job, raise my mother and raise my aunt who was younger than my mother, I think. And I think she had maybe some slight issues, but just doing everything on own, having to get a job, having to work. Even when she was able to even buy a house, which was a big deal for her, she had, had to put it in her husband's name. During that time, women couldn't buy a house, couldn't put their name on a mortgage. So she worked hard. From my mother said, she was strict but loving, because the grandmother I got was, just loving, but she was real and like realer than you would think of a woman of that age. Like she would talk to you about sex, or she would talk to you about what was going on, which was kind of, I guess in the 80s to have a grandmother who probably late 40s who would like talk to you and give you real advice. So she's like the stereotypical matriarch. And like I said, didn't judge you, was straightforward, told you how she felt. So that's my mother. That's my grandmother. And they from here. My mother was born and raised in D.C. My father, he's one of 14. He was born in northern Jersey. His mother died when he was suddenly, unexpectedly, when he was either like a preteen, and he kind of he had 14 brothers and sisters. Everybody was kind of like raising themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a big deal that my grandfather, like people said, it was a big deal that he stayed. Like this was a time period where he could have just rolled and went down south somewhere and left the kids. So he was born in 1900. So he died in 96 when he was 96. But my father said he was a stern. Basically his whole job was just to pay the bills. So my father had an older brother who was like one of his older brothers was like 5 years old who kind of ran the house because all the older siblings were gone. But still, for the most part, day to day, he was kind of raising himself from like preteen on up until my uncle came down here with Howard and basically kept hearing about what's going on up north with my father and made him come down to the DC. And everybody would say, if my uncle didn't do that for my father, he'd have been dead or in prison. So, it's kind of one of those things. But yeah, we're not going too deep right now. We're just kind of giving a little peripheral.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's pretty much that. So like I said, the only grandparent I have a relationship with is my mother's mother. That's the only one that was alive when I was I saw it on a constant.
Okay. What about you, Coach?
Man, I knew so we start my mom's side. My grandparents, my mom's mom and dad were still together when they were married. They are from the Washington D.C. area. My grandpa, I was very, very young when he passed away, so I was probably no older than 2 years old. You know what I mean, when he passed away, so the relationship with him wasn't as strong. And my grandmother, though, I knew very well. So she didn't pass away till I was probably, I believe I was a junior in high school. So she watched me when I was little, hardworking woman. By the time I came around, my parents were a little bit older. So she was my babysitter over the summer when I was young, right there on Rhode Island Avenue, over there all summer long. I'd be traveling around the city with her via bus. Wherever she went, I went, and my cousin Ray Ray went because we were the same age. So, you know what I'm saying, just a hard-working woman, you know what I mean, holding the fort down. She can cook like crazy, you know what I mean, ate well every day. So, you know what I'm saying, that's a lot about her. Saying my mom, she grew up in the Washington, D.C. area. McKinley Tech graduate, so they born and raised in the city. My dad's story a little bit different. He was born in Florida, lived with father early, then came up here with his father's parents, which were my great grandparents, Aunt Kat and Uncle Johnny, and they are very, very old school grandparents. They were very, very close to a lot of the civil rights movement folk. They were part of the civil rights movement, and so was my mom's parents. So they taught a lot of lessons to me as well. Growing up, I could see the stark difference between the two families. I actually didn't even know that my father's mom was still alive until I was probably 18, 19, and I first met her when I went to my college visit for football, and we went by her house because she happened to live in that city. So I don't know much about my father's mom. So that's kind of just a history of, you know what I'm saying, my parents and what they kind of went through. You know what I'm saying? So
okay. What about you, Matty Ice?
So I'm gonna go with my mother's side. My grandmother, man, my grandmother was from South Carolina. I'm not sure what year she came to the DC area, but it was kind of early on, I believe. I think she was still a teenager because I remember her saying she didn't like the farm life, you know what I mean? Because when we go down south, they used to live on the farm, small town, you know what I mean? They used to have pigs in the backyard and all of that. So she said as soon as she was able to get from down there, she came up to DC. So lived in DC. She got married, and you know, always was working. She used to work at like different places, meat factory, different stuff like that. But she was always hard working. My grandfather, don't remember him too much. He passed when I was young, like I'm like probably like about 5 or 6 years old. So I don't remember him too much, but he was a hard worker too. I think he used to work at Amtrak or work on the railroad. But I knew he worked at Amtrak. But and my grandmother was like hold the family down, man. Just remember dinners over her house every Sunday, man. Just being over there all the time. She had 3 daughters. One, of course, which is my mother, also born and raised, graduated from DC High School. I couldn't even think of what high school she graduated at the moment. I want to say Easton. But father also, you know, I mean, they met in high school. So they got married early on. My father's mother, I didn't spend too much time with my father's side of the family, for reasons that I'm just learning as I'm getting older, why I didn't hang around that side of the family too much. Didn't see a lot of my cousins on my father's side. I know of my father's mother. Met her, everything. She passed away a few years ago. And my grandmother on my mother's side, she actually passed away in 2020, as well. But everything was hard working, loving, man. She used to spoil us as most grandparents try to do, but never really seen her angry or, you know what I mean, or anything like that. She was always in a good mood, trying to, you know, help out, do things for people. Like can cook her crazy too, sweet potato pies and peach cobbler, man. You know, she had that down south thing down pat, you know what I mean? But she was just a super loving grandmother. And she passed some of the things down to my mom and them, but they more city than my grandmother was, you know what I mean? But she definitely taught them well, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? She taught them how to be women and be professionals, you know what I mean? Because that's all of them went down a professional career path, you know what I mean? I think it's because of her, because she always just instilled values and wanted to make sure you always carrying yourself properly, you know what I mean? Like you wasn't going to have her looking crazy, so you always was going to be clean while you was out, because she loved to shop, she loved to dress nice, so she always made sure her grandkids was dressed nice. And I could tell she did the same thing for my mother and her sisters when they were young too, made sure that they was always you know, looking their best every day.
All right.
So that's what I can remember.
Yeah, well, it seemed like we all kind of had the typical what even our kids now think of grandparents, where they're nice to us because we got them at an older age. You know, but we all still look at our parents when they dealing with our children. I don't know about you. You know, you look at our parents and be like, well, where the hell was all this love at? You know, I'm saying as we grew up. But just to go into a generational curse is a habit or behavior that has been passed down, that has been passed from one generation to the next. Parents strive to make sure that the life they lead will help their children to live a better one. Children practice what they have learned on their own and what they have gathered from the generations before. And I mean, I think that's a pretty good definition of what generational knowledge is. But to me, generational curses are the things that we don't really talk about and we've normalized as a family or as a person. So, you know, I've talked about this freely on the show. So now I just want to kind of go into what kind of trauma did your parents, or the childhood of your parents, that they might have experienced that you saw that you saw during your childhood. Like for me, the biggest one is alcoholism. Alcohol was normalized in my house. My dad used to make alcohol in the house, and he would have his jar fermented with peaches and whatever wine in there. The only problem was my dad was a terrible alcoholic. I remember Vance. I know you don't even know this, but I remember there was a sleepover where my dad, my aunt Vance was there. I think I was probably turning like 8 years old, and my aunts came up from North Carolina, and they all got pissy drunk to the point that my dad passed out and pissed on himself and pissed on the mattress that we were sleeping on. So before we woke up, he moved all of us off the mattress into the couch and threw the mattress away so that we wouldn't know that he got drunk and pissed on the mattress. And to me, that my alcohol in my house was normal. It was okay. My mom used to wake me up and tell me to go get my dad from outside. He's sleeping in front of the tree. You know what I'm saying? And there was several times that he crashed his truck, and we had to help him get his truck out of the sewer grates and that he ran into the curbs or whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying this at a negative time, because for me, at the point, I didn't realize it. To me, I didn't know what was going on. Dad would sleep out front. I just go get him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even like it was a normal thing to me, but it really wasn't a normal thing. And I think that has been a problem for me that I've had to deal with as far as alcohol and this, that, and the other, because I don't think I'm a way better alcoholic than he was, but I don't think, I don't take it as seriously as I should, and understand that, I want to break this for my kids. So I'm just curious if y'all have anything that you remember that might have been normalized in your house and considered, to me is really occurs, but everybody just made it seem normal. And did you decided not to bring that with you for your children? So let's we'll go back to Matty Ice first. Let's see, Matty Ice.
I'm gonna say with that, like my house was pretty relatively calm because of my mother. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say she was strict, but she was at a young age. She was big to, religion. So there was a lot of things that she just wasn't going for. So I think, and that was part of the reason why I believe her and my father separated or got a divorce early on, when I was probably about 7, 8 years old. So I would say from that aspect, that was probably something that I didn't want to have. And my life was, not living under the same roof with my kids, you know what I'm saying? So kind of seeing some of the stuff that she went through dealing with my father, at the time, and learning seeing him as I got older and learning the truth of some things, it caused me to be like, nah, I want to make sure I'm there for my kids, or able to live under the same roof. I didn't want to, have, raising kids from afar, or, be married and be with different women, different stuff like that. So I would say that was what I saw from my father, was how he kept multiple women, you know what I'm saying? And that was, and how it kind of affected him later in life, you know what I mean? So I was like, nah, that's not the picture that I want to, have and set for my kids. I want my kids to look at me a little bit differently, because I look at the relationship that my sister has with my father, who is passed now, you know what I mean? And they didn't have the best relationship, because she never really grew up under the same roof with him, you know what I mean? So by the time when she was born, he was kind of, they were getting a divorce. So they never, and just talking to her now, she never really looked at him in a positive light, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't want that for my kids. So that kind of, I guess, was a good thing. It kind of pushed me the opposite direction, you know what I mean? But I see a lot of families, though, do have that as a generational curse, where, a lot of people, there's nothing wrong with having, blended family. Sometimes it doesn't work out between the mother and father, but that was just something that was important to me. And I think my father had a big reason for that. Just kind of saying how he was. Now he wasn't a bad dude. He was a good father though. He took care of me, you know what I mean? Like as far as monetarily, always, you know what I mean, call him. So I'm not saying it in that way. Like he was a great father in other ways, you know what I mean? Because it ain't no rule book to being a parent out here. That's all they can do
That
is
is
teach you what they know, you know what I mean, or do the best that they can while they're going through whatever they are going through. And I see that now as I get older. Like you only can, you know, man, only can do what you know.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Brandon?
So like kind of like what you said, my house was really, you know, I was blessed. I had a really good household. You know, I didn't really have any glaring traumas. You know, there was things that, you know, for me it's more, you know, know better, do better type thing versus kind of like trauma. Like, yeah, I ain't like how my father did that. I'm gonna do that a little different. But wasn't like anything horrific. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, you know, he's doing the best he can. He's a man of a certain generation. You know what I'm saying? So even for that, for him to do the things he did for that time was quite progressive. But if you look back on it now, you be like, that wasn't all that progressive. But either way, like little stuff like, you know, my father had like we always just joke like he's a Jamaican or something. He always had like 15 jobs. You know what I'm saying? He always worked nonstop. That was his in his mind. That was his role for the family. Like I have to provide. I have to work. I have to, you know, no matter what, I'm working. So, you know, of course, he tired and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you feel like, you know, no matter what you did, you're going to irritate him. You know what I'm saying? He just tired. Like, you know, hey, hey, what's up, Dad? What's up? What you want? You know, that kind of thing, you know, sometimes. So, and, you know, of course, now that, you know, I'm a father, like times I get stressed out, times that I'm tired or I got a bunch of things in my mind, I have to kind of remind myself, like, hey, all she said was hi. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all she wanted to know was she have a snack. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't got to be like, no, you just ate dinner too. You know, I ain't got to do that. So I think that's kind of like one of the things I try to realize that I saw my father. I said, I'm not going to do that with my kids. Of course, nobody's perfect. Yeah. I still do it from time to time. But at least now I'm cognizant of being like, all right, you know, chill out. You're fussing too much. Like, you know, just because you tired don't mean they did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, no, those like that kind of stuff was kind of like our issue. And then also too, just trying to make sure, again, being cognizant of treating everybody kind of fairly in a sense. Like, you know, my older brother was like he was that perfect first child. Like he was a good kid. Like he never got in trouble. You know, did well in school. You know, just a good kid. And then I got my baby sister who is the baby and the only girl. So, you know, that's a whole different lane. And me, you know, I was kind of more like my father. I kind of, you know, getting in trouble in school. I always had decent grades, but I get in trouble, get phone calls home, you know, maybe monthly, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of spankings growing up, a lot of, you know, yelling and fussing. And of course, I'm adding to the pressure. He don't work 4 jobs, come home, got to spank me, So I think a lot of our relationship to him was, our relationship is me disciplining you. That's like our relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like that was the most time he spent with me, but had to be either like fussing and yelling or spanking or whatever. So trying to, you know, make sure I don't put kids in those categories in my household. Like, oh, you're the trouble one, or you're the this one, or you're the that one. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see everybody for who they are and appreciate everybody, you know, fully for who they are. That's, you know, that's kind of my like I said, generate curse seems kind of harsh. You know what I'm saying? The man can be way more positive than negatives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But them negatives there, you know, for a minute, you know, it been times our relationship was, you know, went the best. You know, always respectful. You know, wasn't like we couldn't stand around each other, but it'd be times, you know, he had a hard time realizing I was a man for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I was always a kid in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that normal progression. So that kind of popped his head out. You know, you think you good with it, and then it's pop his head out. He might be fine for 2-3 years, and then it'll pop his head out. Like, I'm like, you know, why are you talking like that in front of my kids? You know what I'm saying? So it's one that kind of stuff. Like I said, nothing, but like I said, but still overall positive. But yeah, those are the things like I'm just kind of cognizant about and making sure I keep in mind as my kids get older and start to branch out. I got 3 girls as they start to become young women to, you know, realize, you know, they're not my little baby, you know, because in my mind, they the 4-year-old little girl, you know what I'm saying? So, So realizing they 17, about to be 18, about to go to college, and they're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna do things. I got to kind of, allow them to grow. You know what I'm saying? And become women. So.
Hey, I'm still struggling with that, brother. I'm being honest with you. I'm still struggling.
Yeah.
Maddie, I still buy his, his daughter. He still buy them food and stuff. So he out there. He making gourmet dinners though. He out there gourmet dinners on Tuesday and delivering it for lunch and shit. You know what I'm saying? He bringing salmon and mashed potatoes and to his daughter for lunch, and she a grown woman. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong. We still messing with them about it, but eventually, like you said, you gotta let them grow up. They need to fend for themselves or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he talk about, oh yeah, I got her a car for her Christmas. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
she in college, man. She gotta get to school.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. How you feel? What you got to say?
As far as generational curses, I'm pretty sure there's some indirect ones that we haven't thought about. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't cry. Don't show your emotions on your sleeve. Right? You know what I mean? Like growing up, Rodney will tell you, my father would dare you to cry. You know what I mean? Like he literally would like go ahead and shit, and that's after being bounced off a wall.
Yeah, he did lovingly throw me almost through a wall.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
but it was our fault. He tried to sneak attack him though.
Yeah, that wasn't a physical abuse thing. That was we thought we was grown thing. You know what I mean? And we found out real quick that we wasn't as grown as what we thought. Right?
That's what we learned about grown man strength.
Yeah, that's exactly that's pretty much what happened, right? It was playful, but like even then, like you know what I mean. Even my mom used to always quote like, "Don't wear your emotion on your sleeve." And you know what I'm saying. The reason I say it's a gift and a curse is because you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a gift when you're dealing with the world, right? Because the world, you'll be able to think logically. You'll be able to make logic decisions. You know what I mean? The world won't allow you to know your next move, and you can kind of strategically move without, you know what I'm saying, some of the obstacles or roadblocks. But at the same token, it's a curse if you keep it in amongst family, right? You know what I mean? Because, you know what I'm saying, you can be holding on or sheltering on. It filters off in things where you actually probably should show emotion. You know what I mean? It filters off in things where, you know what I'm saying, your relationship with your wife, your relationship with your kids, you know what I mean? And how, you know what I'm saying, are you teaching your kids to kind of articulate their emotions in the same way? Now, rightfully so, generations are different. Like our parents and grandparents really couldn't show emotion out in these streets. Because, you know what I'm saying, they get them killed. I mean, that's just what it was, right? You know what I mean? They couldn't necessarily stand up for themselves all the time out in the street. So strategically, I understood what they were kind of teaching us. But I mean, we're in a day and age now where, like, with mental health being where it is, and that's kind of identifying, you know what I'm saying, some of these issues that we have from childhood that were actually taught or it's learned, you know what I mean, and how they translate to your adulthood, you know what I'm saying, and the impacts that they have on not only you but others. It's kind of like, man, was that the right thing to be teaching me, or was there some kind of balance that they were trying to teach me in that? You know what I mean? And maybe they didn't get the emphasis on the balance. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I think about when, as far as trauma and household, I had to deal with all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, forgiving my parents were probably the most forgiving people. I mean, I did everything from rent people cars to wild stuff to teachers. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So they were forgiving. They taught that lesson. But, you know what I'm saying? Just the whole emotional on the sleeve thing is kind of, I mean, it's benefited me in my life, but it's also kind of, you know what I'm saying, eating me alive before too. So,
yeah. And I think that was a good point you made about, like I was trying to, and I think Matt Ice kind of saying the same thing. So, like, trauma seems kind of a harsh word, just more like, hey, they may lack in that little area. Let me change that a little bit. But overall, like you said, I feel you. Like my house was, people would have dreamed to live in the house I lived in, even with whatever issues I might have had. You know what I'm saying? So definitely agree with that.
No, well,
Yeah.
that's why I kind of said
Yeah.
generational curses and generational gifts.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think we've been blessed with a lot of gifts, but there's a lot of curses that I feel that we, and one being the one that the biggest one being the one that Vance talked about, and that in as black men, I feel that whole you can't cry, you can't show emotion type thing, which I understand exactly what you're saying too, is a huge one though, because it really, you know, like I think I've said this before. If I can't be emotional with my wife, then who can I be emotional with?
Yeah.
Like, who can you be? And as a man, in the sad thing, but even women and our kids and everybody have been taught, or our parents have taught us, you know, oh, you got to hold it in. You can't do that. You can't show that. And you know, to me, I just feel like that is a huge one for us as a generation to not, like Van said, to really add more context to it. Because, you know, we're not in a generation anymore where we can't. The problem I felt like is that the only emotion that they allowed us to show was anger.
Yeah.
And that was the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, so that to me has always been an issue or thing. So now let's just take your personal self out of it. But what is a culture besides that one? Is there any other generational curses as a culture that you see out there that you're noticing?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Go ahead. It's open forum. Whoever wants to say what you feel. What you think.
I just throw one out, and I would say, and it's probably something similar to what Coach probably would say, but in the black community, I think as our thoughts and behaviors when it comes to money, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you know what I mean, some households, you know what I mean, it's always this money don't grow on trees, which it don't, but you know what I mean? It's still a certain mentality that seems to comes with that, you know what I mean, when you start to think that way about money, you know what I mean? So I just think and not being taught about it. It's not, sometimes it's not talked about. It's only maybe talked about in a way of I don't have or no, you know what I'm saying, instead of, you know what I mean, teaching about it.
I mean, shit, how old? Go ahead, Brian.
Oftentimes they can't teach about it because they weren't taught themselves. Like they don't know.
True that.
They messing up money. They
yeah.
They you know what I'm saying? They're, you know, so it's hard for them to teach what they don't know. So they, like you say, the whole thing is you need to save your money. That's all they know. They don't know, hey, you know, maybe to put some money over here or diversify, do this or check out this kind of. All they know is
sometimes it ain't. Sometimes it's not even save your money either. It's sometimes it's being shown the exact opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like So at least somebody was telling you to save money. You know, sometimes people not even getting that. They were like, "Well, I don't even have no money to save."
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that, you know what I'm saying. Money is definitely one of them, but it's crazy like that. When I was speaking about my great grandmother, my father's parents, they made no more than $7 an hour at any point in their life. When my great grandmother died, she had over $100,000 saved.
Wow,
that's difficult.
It wasn't buried in a mattress.
Right,
it was in a bank.
Yeah, I mean, it was buried. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she had it spots here, spots there. But eventually, when she got older and my parents started managing her money, they put it in bank account and did all that. But like literally, it's funny how that has changed over the generations, right? Because our great grandparents were all about saving, like you said, Matt, right? And like they were the grandparents that always just gave me socks and t-shirts. They didn't ever give me a toy, ever. Gave me a toy. They only gave me socks and t-shirts every single year. Like birthday, Christmas, it was socks and t-shirts. The other grandparents would buy toys and everything else. And I mean, they were on opposite ends of the spectrum of how they spent, right? You know what I mean? And that curse has dropped generation to generation to where Now, the black community, honestly, for our generation, was all about material stuff, right? Now, it's slowly switching a little bit for our kids, because our kids are actually starting to learn that how to make money, how to invest money. They're starting to think differently.
How to make your money make money. That's the biggest thing I talk to my kids about.
Our kids are starting to learn that. And they're starting to learn how to make money out of the systematic way. So out of going to school, going to college, earning a job, then saving money to do everything, they're learning to skip a lot of those steps to make money, right? So just the concept of money to the kids are actually changing. The one thing that I did want to bring up, along with money, is the whole black community and crabs in the barrel. I was watching a video the other day, and that crabs in the barrel mindset goes back to slavery, right? You know what I'm saying? And the reason it does is because slave owners will actually set slaves free once a year, right? They would let 1 or 2 slaves off the plantation free, give them their papers for free, everything. All they had to do was rat somebody out.
Okay.
So think about that, right? You know what I mean? You got the 1 or 2 people that can get free if they rat everybody else out. What does that do mentality-wise?
I know I'd be snitching.
I gotta know. I gotta be. Once I get out, one I'm a rat, right?
Yeah.
But it also programs all the rest of the slaves that don't get out. That only 1 or 2 gonna make it.
Yeah,
right.
Now, definitely. It's more of a created self-hatred. You know what I mean?
Correct.
I think that
exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that is passed down generation to generation, because when you think about it, when we started talking about some of the cities that were in the early 1900s, they were all black. They had black stores, black banks, black everything. They destroyed them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because they wanted to keep the systematic crabs in the barrel thing going. When there were black people, they were actually breaking that curse.
Brandon, you're in the schools a lot, so you've been in the school system for a lot. What curses have you seen that from generation to generation, or your time in the school, that you've noticed and think that we need to change?
Let me see. That's one of those questions. There's so many that I'm trying to narrow it down. One thing that I've seen consistently is this false propping up of young boys as their men. So oftentimes, especially early on, when I have like maybe a single mother with her son or whatever, and she'd be like, you the man of the house, you the man. Tell these little boys they're the man of the house, because they're literally the only male in the house.
Yeah.
So they start growing up thinking that I'm the man just because I'm literally a male. Or I took out trash, so I'm the man in the house. And not having that other foundation, like, no, it's so many other things that make you into a man. So you end up having these little boys that grow up into these teenagers, grow up into these spoiled little teenagers who, as I see in the school, a lot of like the ones who are out here doing a lot of the killing and shooting up, it's a lot of spoiled brats who not used to getting away, who don't, who moms spoil them. And then when they get 14, 15 years old, the mom like, I don't know what to do with him. I don't know how he got this way. But you've been telling that the man in the house since he was 6. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When he was cussing at 4, he was cute. You know what I'm saying? When you know what I'm saying, when he's being grown at 13, it was cute. When he was sticking the girl in the house at 12, it was cute. So now all of a sudden he's smelling himself and he knows you can't do anything with him. Now you at a loss. You don't know how he got here. So I think that is a point. And then I'm not going to let some of these fathers off too, because some of these fathers who trying to be there. And this might be, I don't know if this generational curse or not but like my father never tried to be my friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ever.
Like saying so.
Ever.
So, and I know I can go to the extreme, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have enough friends. I don't need to be your friend if you're my son. There's so much many more important things I got to teach you versus worrying about if you like me. or if I said something that may have hurt you. You know what I'm saying? So, like we have
I
that
agree.
combination. So we have
It's definitely a balance there too.
I'm saying. So I say
with
exactly goes to extreme. So when from
Yeah.
one extreme where I ain't your friend, hey, because you ain't my friend, I mean you gotta put me down. So when it was
Yeah,
that
agreed.
extreme to now we be best friends. We
Yeah,
we talking about girls together. We doing it like it's like no line drawing. And again, then that boy gets to be 15, 16 years old, and he wants to talk and treat to that father like his 15, 16-year-old friend. And now the father trying to put that toothpaste back in the tube, trying to get him to act right, do right, and now he's at a loss. So I think a lot of it, what I've seen is just the molding that we're doing to our young men of just spoil them too much, protecting them too much, not really giving them the guidance that they need. That's one of the big ones that I see.
Yeah, I totally
I
agree
agree
with that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it. I've seen it too, where now people, that line is not clear. You know what I'm saying? That is one thing that has been clear with my kids and even my childhood with my parents. Yeah, of course, when I became an adult, we might have been able to do adult things, but there's still the things that I could never do or say to my mother.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that you shouldn't even feel comfortable. You shouldn't even feel comfortable saying, like, it was just more out of a respect thing. Like when you grew up, you didn't cuss in front of your, your parents or whatever. Like you know what I'm saying, you talk and act in a certain type of way, but now that's like common. You know what I mean?
Well, now they're going to the club together.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They want to be friends with their kids, especially the sons. That's what's the girls. Like the girls is a whole nother thing. The girls have, it's almost like they're forgotten about. You know what I'm saying? Half the time the mamas
break that down. Yeah, I'm listening.
Half the time the mamas don't like them, their daughters. They compete with their daughters. I don't say half the time, sometimes. But I don't like the girls. So we give these boys all this attention, and it's not the attention that they need. It's not the structure attention they need. But I feel like some of my girls that I see in my schools over the past 20 years, it's like they kind of just fending for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of living. Nobody's really checking on them like they're supposed to.
Yeah. Either that or they, like you said, the mothers are doing stuff the same way you explained about how some moms are with their sons spoiling them. Now the little girls, like they letting them listen to Sexy Red. They thinking it's cute, you know what I mean? Because the age gap is so close in age.
So
and I can see that because I was just turning 18 when my son was born. You know what I mean?
Well,
so my son.
You gotta understand though. You really gotta understand that the father provides value to the daughter.
Yeah,
the father is the most influential person in a daughter's life when it comes to valuing herself.
Facts.
You understand
I see that every day.
She will look at her father and see what the way a man should treat her. You know what I'm saying, and so forth. So, like, that is the key to raising these girls.
That brings us back to, like, when we talk about generational curse, and especially in the Black community, that's what I guess you could definitely say is the generational curse. And this goes back to another episode we had where they basically took the fathers out the household in the Black community. You know what I mean? So that created a lot of the traumas and things that we still see happening today. Where it's normal for a Black father not to be in the house. It's normal, you know what I mean? It's not normal for a 2-parent household. You know what I mean? Like in sometimes.
Here go two biggest myths though. Like, so the whole idea about the men out the household, that was strategically done. Like we
talked about that.
Like it was, but they've done studies that the most active father in the country is a Black man.
Is the Black male. You are absolutely right.
As far as the available fathers, because a lot of fathers are, like I said, incarcerated. But as far as available fathers, it's the Black man.
Yeah.
But you have this idea that these white men are all great fathers. It's like,
hell no.
Single white women out there who can't. So that's one. That Hold on, somebody coming to my door.
Yeah, you good, but nah, I agree with you. So you
I
know,
don't think it's a race issue with it at all, but just speaking about the black community, sometimes it seems like because it was systematic, it did hurt a lot of black families, and a lot of the stuff that
set
we're
us back.
seeing now directly comes from that father not being in the household. You know what I mean?
And our
And
generation is actually a generation that's changing it.
Yeah.
But I think one of the issues is because that whole generation of black men are taking out the household, we have this, what we have now, these gender wars on social media, because everybody's trying to think what they think a man and woman is supposed to be. Because a lot of them didn't grow up seeing it. So everybody's thinking, oh, this is what a man's supposed to be. This is what a woman's supposed to be. Not ever experiencing in the household because of that whole generation that was lost. So now you have this whole generation, like some of the curse. Like it's almost like we're creating a new cultural curse here about gender roles. Whereas in the black household, gender roles were never set as the quote unquote stereotypical gender roles like in white America. Well, a man does this, man and woman had to go to work to support the household.
Yes, they did.
So our gender roles in the house in the black household was way more mixed. It wasn't like this is my job, this is your job. It was mixed. Everybody had to kind of put in and help out. So now they got everybody trying to figure out what a man's supposed to do versus what a woman's supposed to do versus what works in your house. It was like what works,
which is really what matters.
Yeah. So whatever works, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, you can't use my. It's crazy when people come to me. You know, me and Vicky have been married 23 years. Anybody who knows us pretty much be like, you know, y'all been together since whatever. And what did y'all have to do to make it work, man? We had to work. We had to work to make it work. That's it. That's all I got for you. It ain't nothing different. It ain't nothing easy. It ain't no secret to it. You know what? You got to be committed, and you just got to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Put in the work. And then the same thing, the one thing I do tell people is like, look, realistically, you have to redate every 10 years because every 10 years, you're a different person.
Yep.
Yeah. You're a different person. You're not that same person. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I don't believe that a lot of people don't talk about that, especially in relationships. Black generation, our generation, nobody tells you that. Nobody says to you, like, look, you got to, because you're not going to be the same person.
Especially
the same person you fell in love with. Huh? Go ahead.
Let's say, especially if you wanted to last, if it's going to be more than 2-3 years. If we're talking lifetime, you're going to be, like you said, different people every couple of years.
I mean, everything's going to change in 10. Like good, bad, or indifferent. Like your financial status is going to change. Your kid status is going to change. Like some of the hardest things to deal with is an empty nest. Like think about it, fellas. We about to come up on that.
Shit, I don't think it's going to be hard for me to deal with.
I'm scared.
That's what you say now.
I'm scared.
That's what he just got finished saying about his daughter. He ain't gonna be able to let her go. Come on, man. You talking that trash, Rod, and he gonna be crying like a baby.
Roll out that so my oldest is gone. You know what I'm saying? She's 21. She ain't completely gone because she's still in college. But my baby boy is about to leave, right? And that's going to have an effect on my wife, right? Because that's her only son. Now I still got 2 more afterwards, but like think about it, Roddy. But like, what if if Jemai and was the last kid? Next year we would be empty nesters.
Yeah.
Like life changes completely because when you think about it, your whole life, even as a male, is being a provider and taking the kids around, doing this for your kids and your wife, right? Once all your kids leave and they become independent, now it's just you and your wife.
Yeah, so you do have to relearn yourself again. You will have to do that again.
You got to relearn practically
both
everything at that
point.
Yeah, I got 2 about to leave next fall, and I'm not ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's so much of your identity for the past 18 years. You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah. No.
That's why Matt's still cooking food. You know what I'm saying? He holding on.
Yeah.
Hey, that might be why they ain't trying to leave.
For sure.
Well, you know, it is what it is. But all right, so going back to generational curses and I did want to take the time to give it, because I don't want to be negative. So I did want to talk about gifts also. And I'm just going to talk for me personally that, for me, the gift that my parents gave me, especially my mother, was that no judgment, the unconditional love. And that's one thing that I've tried to really embrace and show throughout the years to my kids and my family and my close people, to not judge a person no matter what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? To love you, even though, sometimes you got to love a person from afar, but that, to not judge them at all. And I mean, that was one of the great gifts that my mother gave me and gave all my brothers, and gave my brothers also. So, I mean, it's one of the biggest things that I want to say is a generational gift that my family has given me. So I was just curious to bring that around. What would be your generational gift from your parents?
So for my father, I would say he showed me how to love and adore your wife. You can't say nothing about my mother. He don't play about her. You know what I'm saying? Like, and understanding that doesn't mean you're happy with her all the time. That doesn't mean that we're in an argument. That don't mean you're not gonna, have your ups and downs. I didn't see them the ups and downs, but at the end of the day, that's okay to love and adore your wife. So I think that's one of the biggest gifts, my father, by showing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for my parents, especially my father, like the one thing he told me that I've been trying to pass down to my kids, and it's tough. I think 2 of them got it. I ain't never been afraid a day in my life. My father taught me never to fear anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that goes a long way. Like and it's ways to do that the smart way, and there's ways to do that the dumb way, right? Like you could be not scared of consequences, but he, of course, did it the smart way. You always walk in a room with your head up, and there is nothing to fear from another person. You know what I'm saying? His comments, his actions, nothing. You know what I mean? And if I could pick 2 kids, one is my oldest, Jaden, and the other one is my youngest, I truly can look in their eyes and they never fear anything. And that will take them a long way. Like they don't fear the room, they don't fear the question, they don't fear not knowing, they don't fear they are not afraid of who they are. And that's one thing that my father, I think, kind of instilled in me.
Yeah, that's a good quality right there, because a lot of times kids nowadays, they care too much about what people think about them. And that's one thing I've always tried to get my kids not to do, but that's a tough one. You know what I mean? Especially in the social media era and all of that, you know what I mean? Like they care about what their peers think, so that sometimes stop them from moving forward with something they may want to do. You know what I mean? Just because they're not sure how they're going to be perceived.
What about the matter? You brought up coaches. Your coach is the same for you, or what's the generational gift that you feel that your parents passed down to you?
Well, I'm gonna say, with a generational gift, I would say they just gave me good qualities, man, to be positive, to try to look at things on the positive side. You know what I mean? Just I definitely saw that a lot in my aunts and my mom. My mom has, she wasn't always quite the positive. She was always tried to give us the best. She used to be a worrier a little bit, you know what I mean, back in the day, always worried about us or worried something may happen or different things like that. So I did pick up that from her a little bit.
Same here.
Yeah. I hate it, you know what I mean? I hate it. But so sometimes it's good though, you know what I mean? Sometimes it is good. It has helped out in some instances, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it could be a lot though.
Yeah, definitely.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a terrible worrier, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm bad.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. I actually scratch myself in my sleep when I'm worrying too much. My wife has noticed it.
Wow.
When I'm worrying, I'm thinking about something in my sleep. I start scratching my face and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
terrible,
man.
dog.
there.
I worry,
But
but I worry a lot. But God has got. I'm better. I'm a lot better now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's
Yeah.
terrible. That's one of my worst
Man, you
worst
gotta
things
rely
that
on
I'm
it.
trying to.
You gotta rely on the scripture for that, brother.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. Now I wake up, I pray. You know what I'm saying? I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep. I'm worried about everything. I just pray, and typically
Yeah.
after a few minutes, I can fall back to sleep. But yeah, it has always been an issue. That's why I drunk so much. Shit,
Yeah.
that was my way of passing. Getting through it. So I'm sorry, Matt Ash. Would you finish? My bad. I ain't mean to cut
yeah,
you off,
I was
brother.
saying as far as a gift though, man, it's just trying to put your family first, man. Like I that's what I saw. I saw my mother always working hard, working multiple jobs. You know what I mean? She instilled a entrepreneurial, type mentality in me because I always saw her, running or her own business or doing something, working from home. She was a bookkeeper, and she was, worked from home a lot. Most of my life, my mother actually worked at home. I could never really remember her going to an office. She always had work from home, even back then, and doing Pampered Chef and Avon Murray Kay. So she always was doing stuff like that too. So she kind of put that in me, just to find ways to make make money.
Okay. All right, heard. I mean, we really didn't go into a lot of things. We're going to go back to off topic real quick, and I definitely feel like this is something we can talk about more and have more discussion about, because I definitely want to get more into some of the other generational curses that we have as a culture that we need to address. And so I think that's something we definitely will bring up again. Brandon, hopefully you will join us again. But I kind of just want to get into this little off topic real quick and discuss this beef, this so-called beef that's happening in rap industry today.
So disappointed.
As you know, is when I wrote this, this was before the apology, but we got. So I just wanted to get y'all real quick. It's J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake so-called beef. Now, I mean, we all are '90s guys, and I remember real beefs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, see you in the street, son. It's on type beef, not this industry beef type thing where everything's. Huh?
Well, yeah,
That's what. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, go ahead.
You know what sparked it, right?
I think Kendrick was the first one that attacked, said something about the barbershop's top 3, and then he named every other whack rapper.
I thought it was J. Cole said. J. Cole rapped on somebody's verse and was like, "It's me, Kendrick, and somebody else."
The big three.
Yeah, but that was
that.
recent. Yeah,
that was recent. Nah, I'm talking about way before that. Yeah, K-Dot named everybody by name.
Rodney.
Yeah,
but the people he named were respectable rappers. That's what made that even tough. It was like Jay Electronica. It was Big Crit.
Yeah.
It was like, so he called out all the top ones and was like, "Y'all want no smoke," basically. But
he said all y'all new rappers ain't nothing. He said that. Yeah, he said all y'all new rappers. He was like, yeah.
But I was so disappointed because, like you said, this wasn't '90s beef. This was a safe lyrical beef. That I was like, yes, I can't wait.
I was down for it.
Yes,
because I ain't think it would. I didn't think it would go off of wax, and I ain't even.
No, it wasn't.
But at the end of the day, they've been kind of, I ain't gonna say taking jabs, but it's been little shots all the time. Yeah. I think it make rap good to be competitive. Like, it ain't
absolutely
like they can't take
little
shots
but
at
Kendrick
each other
on a whole nother level than Drake. In my opinion, I'm a huge Kendrick fan, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that out loud.
So I think
I think lyrically you're gonna have a problem. Here's where you're gonna have a problem.
Who's he?
I'm gonna take it all the way back to the greatest beef of all time that y'all don't even know about. LL Cool J and Kool Moe Dee thought it was sweet until they started battling each other and realized, dog, like both of them can rap. Drake can rap, bruh.
No, so
like Kendrick can rap, but lyrically Drake can rap. Like, so
I don't know, man. I mess with Drake too, but I don't know if
Yeah.
he still got it.
But even if he still
man,
got, I think
know.
it's different level. I think Drake is a real. I think he's a really good rapper. Like he's not my cup of tea, but I respect his game. But I think J. Cole and Kendrick just lyrically and how they can put things together. I think they're a little. But
the problem is Drake is like Jadakiss when he raps, bro. Like he's not.
Hell no.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hell nah. Hold on, no. You gonna make me put out sound effects now. Hold on.
You're not listening. You're not listening to what I'm saying. Though.
I heard you put Drake and Jada in the same sentence. That was enough.
I said what I said is that like Drake and Jadakiss is gonna fry everybody else because Jada can lyrically rap, right? Drake is the exact same way. That's what I'm telling you.
But you believe what Jadakiss saying though?
Like LL Cool J, and he's just like Kumo D. Like there'll never be the best rapper in their era. Like Drake is not better than Jadakiss, no. But in a beef, he's going to make the beef more interesting because he can rap, dog. Like, and I'll be straight up with you, dog. Like even I love K-Dot. Love all his albums, everything. But dog, like, don't get it twisted, bro.
Man,
like,
I don't think he want to smoke with K-Dot or J. Cole. But I was just upset with. I thought to me it was no different than whoever you think that the best NBA player is a day throwing shots of the 2 or 3 best NBA players. Like it's good competitive nature. Like yeah, I'm number one. I'm this and that. Then the other dude was like, all right, let's set it up. And he was like, yeah, nah, we all great, we good. Like, nah, you can't do that. Like go finish.
The cop-out was terrible.
Yeah, go finish.
All right, first of all, let's get this straight. Okay. Drake is from Toronto. He ain't lived a thug day in his life.
So that's
okay.
That's the reason
you know
why
what I'm saying. K-Dot is from the streets of Compton, not the new Compton. We talking about the original OG Compton.
K-Dot, hold up, wait.
K-Dot wants this beef. He is happy. This is his lane.
He ain't built that way though.
Who said he ain't built that way? K-Dot ain't say that shit. K-Dot said I choose violence. He said I am. He said I am bipolar and I choose violence.
That he wasn't built that way.
What? He wasn't. Ain't none of us built for the streets of Compton.
I don't understand why he had to apologize. I think he felt like he just
didn't have to. He knew he wasn't
calling his albums trash. You know what I'm saying? When he probably didn't really believe that. You know what I'm saying? How he
but you ain't gotta believe. We talking shit right now.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Hey. Look, man.
I thought it was a healthy beef. Like it didn't.
Yes,
even with what K-Dot said. It ain't come off to me like you straight dissing them off. Like it was more like competitive. Like you know what I mean. Like
it was gonna stay on the wax. It was no. There was no threat of no street violence. There was no threat of anything else. It was gonna be who's most lyrical. Who can put this
exactly what it was gonna be.
Put it. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, and then I can still see them like dapping each other up, doing like. But it didn't seem. I didn't think it was that way because. I thought all of them got along for real. Anyway,
and I'm gonna tell you what, K-Dot was not dapping none of them up. That was not going to happen. He was not going to do it. He said that in the song too. He said, "Ain't no shaking hands." Ain't
Jay-Z and Nas said the same thing.
Yeah, I don't got K-Dot really trying to beef with J. Cole. I thought it was more. I thought it was more just competitive. I ain't see it as. He don't fuck with Cole.
No,
he don't mess with none of them. He named everybody by name and said,
rapping,
"I want you to forget." I'm just saying,
he wasn't trying to fight J. Cole.
Yeah, he ain't trying to fight.
Nah. He talking about it as on the rap. He talking about on rap. It ain't no going in the streets. Nah, it was never going in the streets. But I'm just saying he wasn't going to dap him up though. He wasn't going to catch that.
Like always playing ball. I'm going at every last one of y'all. It was like that's the mindset, and then we could dap up later when the game is over. We cool. We gonna leave it on the court. That's what I thought this was going to be. You know, the lyrical.
I will say this: him and J. Cole would have been interesting.
Yes.
Oh yeah. But J. Cole ain't about that life either.
I was just like,
J. Cole ain't about that life either. I mean, you know. he already apologized because he said he couldn't sleep for the last 2 days. I'm like, come on, man. This is
Did
rap
Drake
shit.
ever respond?
Huh?
No, he didn't. Well,
Did
Drake
Drake
ain't
ever-
respond to a beef since Pusha killed him.
Yeah, Pusha
Oh
tough,
yeah,
though.
yeah,
He
yeah.
ain't respond to a beef
And,
since Pusha.
and you know, he thought he was smelling himself because he fried meat, but after
Yeah.
that,
Well, first,
yeah.
Pusha up there, too.
Hold on. Hey, so Matt, I know you got something to go to though. We probably gonna keep on talking because I want to have this conversation with them. If you want to go ahead and step off, you good, brother. You know I love you, man. I appreciate you, Matty. I sell crypto.
Cat in there.
Huh?
I got 15 minutes.
Yeah, I can stay in here till 10.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, no,
But anyway.
wait a second. Pusha a little different though, because Pusha is in them streets.
Yeah,
Like,
Pusha's in the streets too. So that's what I'm saying.
Man, Pusha in them streets. Like that's a different type of beef. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whatever beef though. Like it was some good beef, but a lot of the joints now, like I don't pay as much attention to them. Like I did like the Pusha and Drake joint, but I guess they kind of somebody told them to chill out. You know what I mean? Like nah. So they went on to kind of squash it.
Drake was done after he brought his kid into it. And everything.
Yeah, but no, I
like,
think somebody reached out to Pusha and he kind of let it go.
Oh yeah, that was it was a Jay Prince thing.
Yeah,
right. Tried to squash it, but I still think Pusha is still frying to this day.
Oh yeah, he ain't want to deal with Pusha.
Pusha was he ain't want to deal with him in them streets. That's where he ain't want to deal with him at. Like I can sleep.
Yeah, that's why Jay Prince reached out. Because Jay Prince knew Drake ain't really want that smoke lyrically or with none of it. And I think Jay Prince still some way financially tied to Drake. So he like, nah, man, you can't be messing up.
You might want to leave him alone.
Yeah.
All right. So what was the greatest beef? What's your greatest rap beef?
All right,
Brandon? Nah.
Oh, I'm trying to think. I don't know.
And the greatest rap beef is Pac and Biggie.
I'm about to say the cliche Pac and Biggie. That's all I can think of.
All right. What about Jay-Z and Nas?
No.
What about Ice Cube and
NWA?
NWA.
That was a good joint.
You also had Ja Rule and 50.
Yeah, well, that wasn't he
You
murdered his whole
shit.
I'm still not happy about it. Yeah, I was a Ja Rule fan, so I don't like
that. Ja Rule had some fire tracks back at 50, but
Yeah.
50 was just commercialized at the point where it was no return, right?
Yeah,
50
he was his voice was too big.
Yeah, his voice was too big at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who else you had? Yeah, LL and Kool Moe Dee.
Don't forget LL and Cannabis.
I was gonna say that.
Bitches too. But Kool Moe Dee used to fry LL, bro. Like they was making albums about each other for about 2 or 3 albums. And then the Jay-Z Nas joint, it was
like 1 or 2 songs. It wasn't like
that's what I.
Yeah.
That's why I say.
Cool.
Only reason I say Pac and Biggie because that joint it had 2 coasts going against each other. Like it was East Coast, West Coast. It was East Coast, West Coast.
That Dog Pound New York joint was Devo's.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I say that's the biggest because it had the whole coast going against each other.
Yeah. Like that Dog Pound. And then Jay-Z came back and rapped about the joint. Ever said New York's been soft ever since Stu came through and crushed the building.
Yeah. I mean, so I think to me probably the biggest beef would be probably be Pac and Biggie. That'd be one of the biggest joints I guess that was out there. You know, I was a big Biggie fan though back then. That Who Shot You joint was like that, and, you know. But but then go back to so what team are y'all? J. Cole, K. Dot, or Drake? I guess Vance talking about Drake. I don't know why.
No, I'm a K. Dot. I'm a fan. I said you cannot sleep on Drake in a beef.
Well, I'm saying you got to pick the 3. Which one out of the 3 is your joint?
K. Dot's the best one out of all 3. All
right.
But see,
I'm gonna go with Cole. I'm more of a J. Cole
dude
fan.
Who apologized?
You say what?
Go ahead. The dude who apologized?
I thought you said which rapper you like the best. So,
I'm saying it's a battle between them three. They battle rapping. Who you picking? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying it kind of killed it now that he apologized.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it ain't even.
So that means your man
ain't
ain't
even
good
a
for this
beef no
war
more.
already.
That's
No,
what I mean.
Drake
It ain't even a beef no more. So,
Drake ain't say nothing. Drake
I'm
still,
talking about, but J. Cole ain't in it no more. Then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about lyrically, who I would roll with. It would be J. Cole.
It'd be J. Cole.
For me, I thought that's why it's so disappointing, because I think album to album, I was on Kendrick more than J. Cole, but I've been on J. Cole the last like year and a half. Where he's been kind of like in battle rap mode, because before he kind of like a little mild, kind of like mellow rapping. The last year or so, he's been like killing every feature on, whether it was with Benny the Butcher, whether it was with whatever, he's killing everything, and kind of like battle rap mode. So I was like, okay.
That last J. Cole joint that came out, the joint with the basketball court on fire, like he went hard on every song on that joint.
I was like, okay, this will settle it. This will settle who's better, Kendrick or Cole. I'm willing to take whatever the results are. And for him to just to apologize, it just deflated the whole thing. So I guess I gotta take Kendrick, but I was like, okay, Cole's coming for him.
I didn't think that 7-minute drill joint was tight. I thought it was.
I thought that 7-minute drill. I thought that was like a warning shot. Like, hey, this is a little.
I thought that joint. It was past warning shots because what Kendrick said on his joint, he was like, it was no warning shots. He was like, ain't nothing subliminal, none of that. He was like, yeah, we getting it, we going to war now. So it's all good. Hey, but hey, for everybody who's watching, put it in your put it in the damn comments. Who you picking and what was the best battle rap out there that you can think of. Maybe you can think of something that we didn't even think of. So we forgot about MJ. We forgot about MJ and Prince. You know what I'm saying? Could have brought them up too. But nah, all right. So last thing, and then we'll end the show is because I was gonna play the thing, but I'm not gonna play it. But I don't know if y'all heard about it, but they're coming out with an animated series of Good Times.
I did.
So I don't know how y'all feel about that. Just give a real quick synopsis on how you feel about that, and then also what was your favorite family sitcom? It can be animated, not animated, real of all time. So me myself personally, I'm probably gonna watch it just to see what it's about. I don't know if I don't know if they're just gonna be doing like more what's the word I'm looking for? More up-to-date versions of the show. But I kind of excited. Good Times was a great show, but for me myself, if there was anything that they'd bring back from the old days that was a family joint, for me it'd be Married with Children. I'm just saying. I know it ain't your traditional.
That was funny. Yeah.
I don't know if it was your traditional family, and everybody might say, "Oh, well, I ain't gonna say what everybody might say," but to me, Married with Children was my joint. I couldn't wait to stay up to watch that joint. That was the only reason I still be awake at night when I was younger. When that joint came out, I didn't miss an episode. So Married with Children would be my thing. What about y'all, fellas?
When it comes to Good Times, when I first saw the clip, I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like excited. Then I realized it's created, produced, directed, written, all that by a white man. So,
really?
Yes, white person doing a caricature of Black life, basically. So that's why I couldn't get behind it now. I was like, oh, like how you gonna do a whole black cartoon?
Oh yeah, you about to lose me too.
Yeah, exactly. I was hyped. I was like, oh, I'm ready to watch it. Now I double check because this is what the timeline was saying. Timeline on Twitter and stuff could be dead wrong. So definitely double check. So that's that one. I wanted to watch it, then I realized it was a white person doing it. I was like, okay, I can't get behind that. But as far as family sitcom, of course the staple. I know it's cliche, but the Cosby was the thing. Me and Rudy the same age, so it was just it was just a good show. But yeah, Married with Children though was that show. That was now when you say family, you talking about just it has to be like a full family, not like a regular sitcom, like a family sitcom, right?
It can be a family sitcom, it can be animated, whatever you want to name. Whatever
Yeah,
your
now,
favorite.
now animated now. My sister done put me on this goofy ass cartoon that I watch now, Bob's Burgers.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen that.
Goofy ass cartoon, but it's something I can just put on and not pay attention to and like do something and watch and laugh. So that's something current that I watch.
I'm gonna say I haven't checked out the or seen the preview for the Good Time joint. I probably end up watching it. I ain't, I remember watching the old Good Times, but I'm probably definitely gonna check it out. But I ain't in no rush to see it. But as far as like some of my like one of my favorite family sitcoms, like I'm gonna go with a cartoon. I'm 80s baby, so I used to watch The Simpsons all the time. You know what I mean? Like I just, like I thought Homer, Bob, Marge, Lisa, Maggie, you know what I mean? Simpsons was one of my favorite animated cartoons growing up though.
All right, Brandon, I just Googled here.
Yeah, I'm
and,
looking at it now.
I don't think she's white.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see if they hid somebody in there. But like, so if it's black created and black pushed and done, I definitely will watch it.
What it says is created by Renanda,
Yeah.
Renanda, whatever, Shepherd, and she definitely doesn't look white to me. Her husband
No,
ain't
I'm looking
white.
at it now. You're right.
All right, so good. All right, now I can watch it and don't feel guilty because I was about to say. But what about you, Vance?
Probably Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, man.
Yeah,
good one. Yeah,
Like,
I would have said that one.
Show. I like that show a lot. So
Okay.
you know what I'm saying. I did also like Different World a lot too. I literally will still watch that joint.
I don't know if that was family. That was more college.
That's why I said Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But yeah, for sure.
All right, well, put in your comments. What was your favorite childhood sitcom when you was growing up? Hey, fellas, it was a good show again today. Thank you for joining us, Brandon. We're gonna get you back because I kind of want to get deeper into this again. So it'd definitely be something we'll talk about again.
For sure.
And get a little deeper into it. But it's another great week. Hey, getting ready to go on vacation. Hopefully, I'll be broadcasting from Indonesia. These guys are betting that I won't be able to figure the time out, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. But next week, we're gonna do our normal show and have a good time. I thank everybody for watching. You can catch us on everything Dad_mentality. Please like us on Facebook. Check out the TikTok we just got going on. And everybody, y'all, God bless and good night.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all.